Guys, welcome back to the Fox Den. I know it's been a couple of days since I've done a video. Been out in Western North Carolina working recovery assets. Just to let you guys, I want to break down some of this misinformation ? Or is it just information that the media isn't putting out yet? There's a big difference. And so when I came back from Western North Carolina, I made a social media post. Somebody's already shared it and said, "Be careful. This guy's giving out misinformation, disinformation." I'm not giving out any misinformation, disinformation. I'm giving you real information. Just because the media hasn't reported on it yet doesn't mean it's not true. There's no conspiracy theory or anything like that. I think there's, and we'll talk about it here, but I just want to clear the air, let you know who I am and what I've done. Served in special operations. I've also served in the National Guard, at the National Guard level, working hurricanes in the National Guard in Florida. I've also been a police officer. I was on a dive recovery team. And I have worked swiftwater rescue and have actually worked on rescues. So it's not like I've just trained on these things and never used my training. I've actually trained in some of these things, most of these things, and have actually put it to use. I'm also a combat veteran, been deployed overseas to a combat zone, not like a Tim Waltz deployment to Italy, but like to actually like a combat zone like Afghanistan. So in the early 2000s as well. So I'm coming at this. I'm also a survival expert. I don't like to say an expert, but I'm a CRC graduate of SEER school, which is survival, escape, evasion. I don't ever say I'm an expert at anything, but I've got some training in a lot of these things. Okay, and so let me tell you the information that I have firsthand from what I've seen going on in Western North Carolina. Maybe you guys can disseminate this. This is real news. My day started last week. I didn't put this on social media because I don't think it's appropriate for all of social media. If you're tuning into this news, well, yeah, I mean, you're privy to that information because you're actually seeking that information. I'm not forcing it upon you. My day started at Tuesday at midnight when a guy that I know that serves in special operations with a non-government organization that was actually in Ukraine. They've actually been on the ground in Afghanistan during the pullouts. They contacted me and said, "Hey, we need help coordinating 400 bodies to our location ASAP." This is at midnight. Not a lot I can do at midnight. I started making phone calls by about 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the phone with DHHS. And after confirming everything through them, they sent 1,000 body bags and 2 morgue trucks to their location. I didn't put that out. But the reason I'm bringing it up to you now is because I know that there were guys telling stories about how many bodies that they have recovered and pulled out. And now people online are calling, saying that there's misinformation. I actually overheard we were in Asheville proper at night because that's where we regrouped every single night. We stayed in Asheville, and this guy was telling the story, and they were like, "Well, the media only put out that there's only 60 bodies, so people need to stop with this misinformation. Hundreds of bodies. Okay, the media is only saying there's 60. Well, then I came back yesterday, and I saw this.
Helene devastated the Southeast. Britta, some sad news. The death toll has now risen to 220 people. And the scary thing is we don't know how high the number is going to climb.
So is it misinformation when he says that he physically saw 200 plus bodies, and then you guys say that it's misinformation, disinformation, but then 5 days later, 4 days later, that the news actually reports on it? And so what is he now? Does he get an apology for accusing him of misinformation? I'm telling you right now, there's over 600 bodies dead that they're hopefully are going to report on eventually. That's real information. That's real news. That's a real estimate. From everything that I've seen and everybody that I've talked to, it's not misinformation. Let me give you another quick example. Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Look, I went through there on Wednesday. Now, one single National Guard soldier. I didn't see any FEMA crews out there. Okay. Not saying that there's no National Guard in places, but we know that Spruce Pine got hit really, really hard. We know that. That is a fact. There wasn't anybody there. They had their own little local supply chains going, but there was no National Guard there. Went to 25 different hollows. I don't know how many different towns, 6 different counties. I never once, from Wednesday to Friday, did I see a National Guard soldier. Now, in Asheville proper, Friday, I started seeing some National Guards in Asheville proper. But when I first reported on Wednesday and Thursday, there was no National Guard. I was accused of misinformation, disinformation. So just because they showed up on Saturday, early Saturday morning, late Friday night, in mass, right? I mean, they had select teams, I'm sure, working in some of the harder places like Chimney Rock. I didn't see them, but I'm not saying they weren't there. But my biggest complaint is that a lot of these control points in Asheville, and I want you to listen up, the products are not being disseminated out to the smaller towns. There's 500 miles at least of devastation, guys. We're talking Kentucky, Tennessee. It's not just Western North Carolina. I've been everywhere from Spruce Pine, little Switzerland, really needs some help. Hickory, went down to Transylvania. But it's the little towns along the way that are being neglected. Clyde, Leicester. Let me show you some pictures really quick. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Here's an example. This lady has seen people drive by. She lives back in that house. Nobody has stopped yet. These are on the back roads. We stopped. We yelled. Anybody out there? She said, help, I'm over here. I don't know. This is like about 100 foot. Her driveway used to be right there. It used to be a lot smaller creek. Now that creek's about 100 feet wide. She's been trapped up there, guys. She didn't have any water. She didn't have any cat food. She didn't have any real food. There's a whole bridge. Nobody's been on the other side of it yet. This is another bridge to a group of houses back over this way. If you cross that bridge, those people are completely cut off. Listen, guys, we talked to hundreds of people. We had to help people that they don't have any electricity. So here's what I want to end it up with. It isn't misinformation. It's just information that hasn't been put out yet. Is the National Guard somewhere up there? Yeah. All right. But the problem is there's a lot of people that are able, they're capable, and they have the know-with-all and the wherewithal to really make a change and a difference. And they're being held at control points. I'm not saying it's nefarious, but there are 100 guys at control point on Wednesday with side-by-sides and four-wheelers who obviously look like they're from the area. You can tell. And they're being told that it's too dangerous. They can't send them out. You do not need any government's permission to go out and help people if you are able and capable. Listen, if you're an IT guy, there's a lot of IT stuff. Matter of fact, there was an IT guy. We swooped him up. He was taking all the addresses, putting them into a spreadsheet from his phone. When he got internet, he was sending that little spreadsheet over to distribution centers. We had another truck picking stuff up, delivering it to us, putting it on the 4x4s, and delivering the groceries. So the IT guy had his place. He wasn't running a chainsaw. He wasn't running a quad. He wasn't running the side-by-side. He was with us. He was working that part. I was with another guy who owns a landscape business. Great with a chainsaw. He was doing all the chainsaw stuff for us. Look, I'm great at knot tying. I'm great at a lot. I got a lot of skills running a chainsaw. I'm able to do it, but not my specialty. There's so many assets out there and people just aren't really using them. If you're a good quad runner, if you're a good 4x4 driver, if you know how to drive in the mountains, then you be the driver in the mountains. Grab you a guy that's good at whatever. Get what you need. If you're able and you're capable, hit some of these back roads in these smaller towns and start knocking on doors. What do you need? And I gotta tell you this really fast. These people are going to say, we're fine. And you're going to be like, you don't need anything. No, we're okay. And you have to physically say, do you need like dog food or horse food? Well, we could use some horse feed now because we do got some horses in, our driveway. We can't get out, but we do have some horses up there. That'd be great if y'all had some horse feed. And you give them the horse feed and you're like, how are you guys on water? Well, we got us a spring head up yonder. So we've been taking these paint buckets up there and filling them up with water. So we're good. Okay, well, we can give you like 3 cases of water. How are you doing on food? Well, we hadn't had electricity. We don't have any power. So we ate all the meat that we could before it went bad. But now we're out of charcoal. We're out of gas. So, we just been eating, we got some canned goods in there. We just been scooping it out here and there, but we're good. We have grills. We have charcoal. We have tons of canned goods. We have MREs. All these people are salt of the earth, wonderful people, and they're all just going to tell you they're fine, but they're not. They need help. They don't have electricity. People, we ran into guys at their oxygen machine. They don't have any electricity to run their oxygen machine. They're in bad shape. Got people that need to get to shelters. They can't get out. We've had to get somebody out of an attic. We've heard just, horror story after horror story. So here's my thing. It's not misinformation. It's not disinformation. It's information that you just hasn't been put out. I'm not saying there's anything nefarious going on. There might be. What did FDR say? Is like if the government says I'm here to help, they're lying. Well, take that with a grain of salt. What I am saying is that if you want to help, here's a good way you can help. The stuff that's at the distribution centers needs to get out to people. So if you're able and you're capable, if you're not going to be part of the problem, if you're not going to get hurt, and you know that you can do it, and you have the means to do it, these groceries need to get out to elderly folks, people who don't have a driveway, people who didn't have gas, whose cars got ruined by the floods. They need groceries. They need help. So we're headed back out there Monday. We got a whole bunch of people. We set them up with generators and some stuff like that. Things got so many So many selfless servants that are donating all of this stuff. And it's just, it's great. But I guess my point of this is don't write everything off as misinformation. These are people are giving you firsthand accounts of what they're seeing. They don't have a reason to lie to you. And just because the mainstream media hasn't told you about it doesn't mean that they're lying about it or spreading misinformation about it. I'll tell you one more. I talked to a woman I can't remember which small town, but I think it might have been Fines Creek, might have been the name of the town. I think that might have been the one. Little old lady sitting at one of these resupply spots. We go by there and we said, is this the resupply spot for like this whole area? She said, yeah. Well, she's like, it was a lot better, but some guys came in here and said that these weren't approved water bottles or something. So they took the whole pallet of water bottles and a whole other pallet of stuff that I had over there because they said it wasn't on an approved list. I don't think she's lying about that. They don't have any internet. They don't have any cell phone. They don't have anything. I don't think she's lying about that. I don't know what the whole story about that is, but it sucks. She wasn't happy about it. That isn't misinformation, disinformation. That's a real conversation that I had with a woman at a small collection point in a very small town in rural Western North Carolina. And I have no other, I don't know if it's a conspiracy. I don't know what the rules and regulations are, but that's not a fake story. It's not misinformation. It's not disinformation. It's just not information you haven't heard yet or that you haven't witnessed and you haven't experienced yourself. If you want to help, guys, you can hit me up on a DM. It's kind of hard. You're going to have to DM me on my personal page because the Fox one, I can't. I have no internet out there, so I'm having to use another phone. I have access to one account, and that's about it. So it's an Eric Tanzi official. I'm not official, but it's funny. It was funny when I made it a long time ago, but you can follow me on Instagram there and hit me up with a DM if you have any questions. You can leave a comment here. I'll be checking the comments here. Maybe you got a question about anybody that needs help or how you can help. We'd love to put you on. We're in contact with so many people right now. So, you tell us what you want to donate, and we'll get you the right person to get it to, the right organization, the right church, or whatever safely. So we're headed back out Monday. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on. And like G.I. Joe says it the best, maybe you didn't know about the misinformation, disinformation, hurricane stuff going on in Western North Carolina, but now you do know, and knowing is half the battle.